BookTube, welcome back to my channel, Books, Ink, and Paper. I'm glad you're here today, and I'm really excited because I'm doing a mid-year, what's it called? Mid-year book freakout tag for 2019. I love mid-year check-ins around work and life, and so this was a perfect tag. And when I saw it going around BookTube, I decided I would take a look as well. And it was really kind of perfect because I was taking a look at what my reading goals were for this year, how I've done, what's left, what I really want to make sure that I get to. So this is just serendipitous, and I can't wait to share with you my reading so far this year and what I want to take a look at next year. So the tag prompts are in 13 categories, and so we're going to get started with them right now. Number one, the best book you've read so far in 2019. For me, I have two picks. One is fiction, one is nonfiction. The fiction pick is Beartown by Frederick Bachman. It was a hard choice for me because I've read a lot of five-star reads this year. I've really had an incredible reading year thus far. But Beartown is a book that has really stuck with me since I read it earlier this year. I gave it 5 stars. I do plan to read more by Frederick Bachman. There is a sequel I have not yet gotten to. It really was well done. While difficult and emotional, it was amazing. Becoming by Michelle Obama is my choice for a nonfiction best book I've read so far. I listened to the audio version of this book, which was read by Michelle Obama. I really enjoyed her take on her growing up in Chicago, near where I grew up, her movement into college and into her career, as well as when she married Barack Obama and what happened during the presidency, what she cared about, how she managed parenting. She was I think, very honest, and I really liked the way she approached the theme of the book, which was becoming an adult, becoming a mom, becoming a wife, becoming First Lady. Really neatly well done. Category number 2, the best sequel you've read so far in 2019. Well, I haven't read a sequel. I have a couple on my list that I haven't gotten to, and that's just the way that is. But I will say that I did read another book by an author that I love, and that was Kate Atkinson's Transcription. While not a sequel, it definitely was a book I enjoyed a lot, and I intend to read more of hers, but all of her historical fiction that's centered around World War II just delights me. Number 3, a new release you haven't read yet but want to, and that would be The Last Romantics by Tara Conklin. I saw a blurb about this not too long ago. I've seen it recommended at my local bookstores. I've seen a lot of buzz about it, and I think I'm going to really enjoy it. So that's on my list to read, hopefully before the end of this year. I have a big list of things that it's too many books. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year. For me, that is, there's a couple of them actually, but for me that is The Testaments by Margaret Atwood, which is a sequel to The Handmaid's Tale. That comes out in the fall. It comes out September 10th. And it's one of those things. Like, I remember when Go Set a Watchman was released by Harper Lee, and it was so anticipated, and there was so much controversy surrounding it. I have actually not completed that book yet. I haven't even started it, but it's still on my shelf, and I am planning to read that one as well. But when you wait that long for a sequel to something that you really loved that long ago, it can be fraught with difficulty, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. The other most anticipated release for me in the second half of the year is The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. I've become a big fan of Ruth Ware. I do have an advanced reader copy of that, and I'm about to start it on my vacation. Prompt number 5, biggest disappointment. 9 Perfect Strangers by Leanne Moriarty. I have liked everything she's written too, and I just didn't like 9 Perfect Strangers. It challenged me to keep reading it. And yeah, I gave it 3 stars because it was, I mean, she wrote a great novel. Um, and I may have pushed it from 2.5 to 3. I was really not happy with it. Biggest surprise. There were two for me that stood out. These were authors that I had seen a lot of people read frequently. I had never taken a look at either one of them. They're not typically, they're very contemporary fiction, but very, I don't know how to describe them, but just not something that I have taken a look at before. And one of them was All You're Perfect by Colleen Hoover. I had not really anticipated that I would like that as much as I did. It was very well done, I thought. And Small Great Things by Jodi Picoult. Again, an author I didn't really know if I would like. She's very prolific, but people had been telling me that she writes about topics that are sort of really in that uncomfortable space where you might be on one end and someone else that you love might be on the other end of a particularly controversial plot line. And I can see where that was true for Small Great Things. And I enjoyed that a lot. Favorite new author, debut or new to you? So I have a couple. I know you're thinking she has a couple for everything. One is Frederick Bachman. I definitely think I'll read more of his work for sure. Another one is Celeste Ng. I read Little Fires Everywhere. Really enjoyed that novel as well. She was new to me, and I have heard that and feel like I will enjoy some of the other things that she's written too. Newest favorite crush, newest fictional crush is prompt number 8. That would be Benji from Beartown. Isn't that interesting? He's a great character to me, and flawed and difficult and nuanced, but I really enjoyed Benji. I wouldn't have a relationship with Benji for obvious reasons, to both of us, but I think we would be lovely friends. Number 9, newest favorite character. Again, this was tricky for me to pick just one. I really like Morrigan Crow from the Nevermore book 1. I was delighted by her character and that book in general. I didn't pick it as the best book I've read so far, which may come as a surprise to some people when they saw my review of it. And Eleanor Oliphant would be one of my newest favorite characters. She was tricky to read, but the reason she was my newest favorite is because she was very well nuanced. Her backstory was incredible. Her growth in the book was incredible. I thoroughly enjoyed Eleanor Oliphant as a character. A book that made you cry. There were a couple. Beartown obviously made me cry a lot. The Art of Racing in the Rain by Garth Stein made me cry. Great, huge gulping sobs, which a lot of books about dogs do. And that's why I don't read a lot of books about dogs or cats. But I did want to read this one. It's been on my list for a long time. It's about to be released as a movie adaptation. I'll probably go see it with a big, huge hunk of Kleenex. I did really like The Art of Racing in the Rain. That was a surprise to me too, I guess, because I typically, when I finish a book about dogs, I'm so wrecked emotionally that I just have an adverse feeling to it. But I did really appreciate that one. A book that made you happy, The Trials of Nevermore, The Trials of Morrigan Crow by Jessica Townsend. I liked that one a lot. And I liked Magpie Murders by Anthony Horowitz. I enjoy his mysteries. I know some people have some angst about him, but I really liked this one because it had so much nuanced reference to other crime writers. Agatha Christie was just, this book was full of references about Agatha Christie, Sherlock Holmes, other things. I mean, I just think he's good at entertaining you through a mystery as well as giving you a pretty good plot and a good story. Most beautiful book you've bought so far this year or received. I chose, now that I look at this, I chose Kate Morton, The Clockmaker's Daughter, but honestly, I think I bought it right at the end of the year. but it's just so beautiful. It's okay. It's the most beautiful book I've read so far this year. It is just so pretty and I love it so much. And I did enjoy the read of it as well. What books do you need to read by the end of the year? So many. The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. I do need to read a couple of arcs, but I want to read that one as well as The Last Train to London by Meg Waite Clayton. I want to read Where the Crawdads Sing. I really have heard a lot of buzz about that, and I feel like I'm going to like it. And so it keeps popping up in my purview. And when something pops up a lot, I take notice and put it on my list. I also want to reread The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood before The Testaments comes out in September. It's been years and years and years since I've read that book. I bought it last year in anticipation of the new one coming out and the series, and just having watched season 1 of The Handmaid's Tale, I just kind of wanted to revisit it and see how I felt about it. And I'm going to say that's all the books I really need to feel a longing to read. There's a lot of books that I want to read. There's a lot that are on my goal list, but those are the ones that I really feel a longing and a pull to read before the end of 2019. I hope you enjoyed this video and this tag, and that you'll maybe take a look at your midpoint check-in and see how you feel about the books you've read so far this year. My goal is to read 40 books this year, and as of today, I am at 29 of those 40. So I am feeling really good about my goal this year. I'm going to surpass it, I'm certain. And I really enjoyed taking a look back again at what I read and sort of assessing it in this way. So if you'd like to do that, feel free to tag yourself too. I'm not going to tag anybody because I feel like a lot of people just do this naturally. But if you would like to do this and you do post a video, or even if you do just create that list as I did, I would love for you to share it in the comments below. Thanks again for joining me today and for being with me on this first half of my booktube journey as well. That's another midpoint check-in for me. I've been doing this now since December of 2018, and it's been quite an enjoyable experience. I hope you have, wherever you are, whatever you're reading, a great, terrific, wonderful, happy reading day. Bye.